Here's the easiest way to fix a tyre you're not using on the road again. The wicks or cord plugs are sort of legal to use as an emergency repair on road, but they're not intended for a long-term fix, at least not in Victoria. New South Wales you can use them as a legitimate fix for any road tyre, but here you can't. Already pulled the offending object out. It's been there a good few hundred kilometres, even more, long before I got the car. This one always went down whenever it wanted to, and that's why. I've already cleaned the hole out a bit. Here's the reamer first, and then you thread the plug through the insertion tool. Lots of adhesive on it, and jam it in about halfway. Pull the tool out, it should come out because there's a slot in it. Leave the plug in there, and you just trim off all but maybe a quarter of an inch at the most on the outside, and they work alright. Yeah, there we go, job done. You can pretty much inflate them straight away afterwards. I've even seen people quickly ream the hole out and jam a plug in it whilst it's still fully inflated, and it still holds, as long as you get enough adhesive in there. See, it's gone really hard and crunchy now, just in the amount of time it's been sitting here. It's definitely due for the rubbish bin. I just don't have tyres at the moment, at least ones that stay up anyway. Well, I can't be bothered swapping them for the other ones, which are good tread but still full of cracks, so I should really be bothered swapping them over. This will do for now. There we go, tyres done, holding just fine. I just remember I've got to clean the spark plugs before I can move it because it flooded again. That's the main problem and why I haven't done much to it. Just money, spending it all on the Jaguar. Otherwise I'd probably have this on the road by now if I didn't spend it all on the Jag, but I need a better, more reliable daily driver. This thing's just a toy at most. Just muck around with it in the spare time. I've even got an air conditioner that's air conditioning the environment, and that's about all it's doing. It's a cold day, so it's not going to do much. And that thing, that's finished. Just got to keep it clean. I'll put a tarp over it until I can find a good home, unless anyone in the Melbourne area wants to buy it. It works fine. Yeah. You've still got some more apples to blow up, just nothing to blow them up with. Oh, have some fun with the microwave. That's why you shouldn't microwave a fuel injector. They don't work after you do that. Oh, in case you're wondering what happened to the Kelly and Lewis project, that's still moving, as is the Westinghouse. I'm just chemically cleaning the block at the moment. I'm not going to put it in the electrolysis tank, it's too big. So I'm using Mr. Muscle. Not as good as the old style Mr. Muscle. They changed it just after I did my South Bend engine lathe, and when I used it on the South Bend lathe it didn't foam up, but you leave it overnight and all this paint would just turn into goo, whereas it's hardly hurt this paint work. I'm going to have to get some paint stripper and get it off. It does work alright. I'm going to hit that with a pressure washer afterwards. I'm just going to move this thing first. I cleaned a bit of an area up for her. I want to pull the top of the engine off, take the manifold and everything off, and just clean everything, change the injectors out maybe, change all the sensors out, see what happens. Alright, let's see how this goes. She will backfire a bit because one of the plugs is fouled and it's just dumping fuel and air down the exhaust, and one of the neighbouring cylinders is popping it off. It's quite common for that to happen. Especially under load, it just starts dumping fuel out of one of the cylinders with the fouled plug. You see this bunk bunk sound out the back of it. Yeah, there it goes. There's no mid muffler or anything, so it shouldn't blow it up. It's just popping down the pipe. This system only has 2 mufflers on it, and they're right at the back. There's no catalytic converter, no nothing to hurt by it. Let's see. We can make a move. Just want to get it in front of the garage, that's all. Coming out of the passenger side cylinder bank. Not too rich. Yeah, that'll do it. I'll clean the plugs once I've pulled the top off and done a lot of work on it. There's no point cleaning the plugs and then having them foul up again immediately afterwards. Bloody thing. Oh, that'll do for now. Oh, who said you need a dedicated parts dryer? Nothing wrong with pulling an old heat pump off the rack and plugging it in. I've got all the parts to this one too. It's a bloody good heat pump. I'm going to dry the Kelly and Lewis engine block. I've still got to wire brush this paint off, but I'm not going to bother putting the whole thing in the electrolysis tank. It's in too good a nick. That's working really well. Oh, Matsushita reciprocating compressor. Speaking of heat pumps, I've got a Dakin one over there which is infested with wasps. I think I better go and blitz them and pull it apart and clean it.